Hi there, guys. I'm going to quickly go over what Watch Me Teach is and how to get started on it if it's something that you would like to be involved with here on Greenways campus. To start with, we're going to talk about some of the benefits of Watch Me Teach. So it has been said that the new kind of cool PD for educators that's most effective a lot of times is just us watching each other teach. So this is providing an opportunity for you to do that. It can help you improve your own classroom practices. You can get feedback from people who are like in the trenches with you, know what you're going through. It creates a welcoming atmosphere, like we're all in this together, and it can increase collaboration among teachers. So it is a very beneficial process for us to do here, and I think you will really enjoy it. It's always fun to see what other teachers do in their classrooms. So if you are interested in being part of Watch Me Teach, the first thing you need to do is for you to figure out what you want feedback on. So we're going to create a form where the teacher who is watching you is actually going to give you specific feedback on what you think you need to work on in your classroom, or what you really want to know more about in your classroom that maybe you can't always catch while you're teaching. So things like how effective is your use of technology? How deep are your questions? Are you more student-centered versus teacher-centered? Is there a balance of those? How do you chunk your lessons? Is it effective? And maybe how you give verbal feedback. Those are just some ideas. There may be other ones that you have, but think about your classroom and you want to think about, okay, what do I want to know that I may not realize while I'm teaching that I need an extra pair of eyes to notice? And those are what you're going to come up with. And I'll show you an example here in just a few minutes. Then you want to tell them what you want your feedback to look like. We're going to give them some question stems. So the person who's in watching your classroom, we don't want to just randomly be like, hey, write me some feedback, because you never know what you're going to get. So we're going to give them some questions, and you need some feedback stems. And I have a handout on Google Classroom to help you with that. So you're going to choose which ones of those question stems you want to use. And that will help guide the person who is watching your classroom's feedback to you so that it's effective, can help you grow, or there can be a question for you that they may have. But we want to make sure that it is constructive feedback that will help you and that is pointed towards what you're looking for specifically. You also want to set norms for your observers. So some teachers don't mind if, when you're in your classroom, that you're up, moving around, talking to the students. Some prefer you just to sit in the back of the room. Either is fine. It's up to you in your classroom. So, but you want to let the observer know what you expect. So part of this is you also need to come up with norms that you want your observer to follow. So after you come up with what you want feedback on and your feedback stems and your norms, you're going to let me know what those are. Actually, we'll have a handout on Google Classroom that I'm going to ask you to fill out. Should not take very much time for you to figure those things out. I will create your Google form from there. These Google forms will be housed on Classroom. And then, so when a teacher is in watching you, they can go onto Classroom, click on your Google form, and fill out observe the feedback that you want, and then fill out those using the feedback stems, the Google form, so that you have that immediate feedback. Some people don't want to do electronic. That's fine. I can make you a paper version of the Google form. If you also want to make that Google form yourself, that's fine. I just need you to share rights with me so that I can post it on our Google Classroom so people have access to it. But trying to make it as easy as possible on you, so I am willing to make those Google Forms for you. I will create for you your door poster. So here's some examples of what feedback that you might get. So if you were coming to my classroom, I teach periods 2, 3, and 4. I don't care if you talk to my students, if you ask questions of my students, if you take notes, if you walk around, whatever you want to do in my classroom, that's fine. It's okay if you don't feel comfortable with that. It's totally up to you. I'd also like feedback on my student engagement, how many students are actively engaged, discussing, processing, answering with the questions in class. And I want feedback on my rigor. Does the lesson provide a level of rigor that is appropriately which is appropriate challenge to the students. Sorry. Okay. So here are some of the examples of the feedback prompts that I chose. One point that was not clear to me was, I wanted to know more about, I wonder what would happen if you. So I will come up with these posters. The questions to your Google form will be on the poster as well, so that the teacher, when they're walking in their classroom, they know what they're looking for in your classroom. If they don't have access to the form right then, they at least can see it on the poster. So I will create these for each of you as well. So the next step is to plan your first visit. I will post everyone's schedules on Classroom so that you have an idea of when they're there. Obviously, you want to avoid their prep. You would plan your visit to go during your prep probably, but you want to avoid trying to go during your coworkers' prep. You want to aim for once in the next 3 weeks if we can, so we can get you guys into classrooms as soon as possible. And then while you are either watching, observing at that time, or when you get back to your classroom, you're going to quickly fill out the Google form and give that teacher feedback after you have watched them. So if you are interested in this, you can join the Watch Me Teach Google Classroom. The class code is there, K4CM5H. We'd like anybody who's interested. Right now we have a few people signed up already, and it's just a great opportunity to have a different connection with our coworkers, open our doors a little bit, and learn from each other. Hope you join. Thanks.